Hi there, my name is Corey, and I'm going to be talking about 3 wartime reads that are great for teen readers. Living Through World War II by Andrew Langley, Resistance by Carla Jablonski and Leland Purvis, and Lovely War by Julie Berry. The first book I'm going to be talking about today is Living Through World War II by Andrew Langley. This book is a really great informational piece for anybody who wants to have a quick overview of the happenings of World War II. In the book, Langley starts at what causes the war to happen and goes all the way through the final surrender by the Germans and discusses some of the lessons that we've learned from the book. Some of the parts that are really great about this book is that Langley talks about how that even though the United States wanted to be a neutral country during the war, the different things that they did to prepare to go to war themselves, but also support the Allies. He also, at the end of the book, gives 2 or 3 pages of resources so that any reader who wants to get more information about World War II has just a huge list of resources so they can do more research. It's a great, easy read, gives a lot of information about World War II, and kind of takes you through all of the basics. So, Living Through World War II by Andrew Langley. The next book I'm going to talk about is a historical fiction piece by Carla Jablonski and Leland Purvis. It's called Resistance. And one of the great things about this piece is that it's a graphic novel. And so you get the story, but also with these really amazing illustrations that help tell it. In the book, there are 2 siblings named Paul and Marie, and they are good friends with a young man named Henri, who is of Jewish descent living in France. And when Henri's family is taken by the German soldiers, but Henri is left behind, Paul and Marie know that they have to do everything they can to protect Henri from being taken by the Nazis. And so they hide Henri. They join the French resistance, fight against the Nazis, despite the fact that they are young. And they do everything that they can to help reunite their friend Henri with his family, even though they have really close brush-ins with the Nazi soldiers. So this is The Resistance by Carla Jablonski and Leland Purvis. It's a very quick read. It's one of 3 in a series. Beautiful illustrations, highly recommend. The last book for our book talk today is Lovely War by Julie Berry. Now, if you are a fan of Greek mythology, this book is going to be right up your alley because in it, Berry kind of mixes Greek mythology with historical fiction, talking about World War I. In the book, Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love, has been caught in an affair with Ares, the god of war, by her husband Hephaestus. And Hephaestus has decided to put them on trial. And so to try to escape punishment, Aphrodite tells these 2 stories of love during World War I in order to try to get Hephaestus to really understand what real love is. And so the 2 stories are first about a couple named Hazel and James, who meet right before James has to be sent off to war. And so they keep in touch through the war. Hazel actually joins the war effort herself to try to get closer to James and also be part of the experiences that he's in. And so we see with this couple how the fighting changes James and Hazel and how they are willing to go through all those trials and tribulations for their love. The second story, Aphrodite Reeves, is about Colette and Aubrey. And Aubrey is a young African-American soldier who is also an amazing ragtime player. And so he joins the war efforts to bring his jazz music to Europe, but also to prove himself and to prove that no matter the color of his skin, that he still has something to offer. At the same camp that Hazel is at, Aubrey meets a young Belgian orphan, Colette. Colette has been orphaned by the war. The Germans killed her family, killed the person that she thought she was going to marry. And so Colette is really damaged by this war and wants to do anything that she can to help fight it. Despite the differences in their races, despite the differences in their countries, Colette and Aubrey develop a connection. And this connection between them is something that, if it's found out on their camp, could put Aubrey in real danger, because as a Black soldier, he should not be talking to a white girl according to the other white soldiers. And so their love defies social stereotypes, it defies social stigmas, and it is put to the test through how people view their relationship, but also the stereotypes that people put on Aubrey. And it's a really beautiful book. You kind of see Aphrodite telling the stories of these two couples throughout it in order to get Hephaestus to really understand that despite war, love is something that can last and help get us through the trials and tribulations. So 3 really great wartime reads for teen readers. I highly suggest informational piece, Living Through World War II by Andrew Langley, a wonderful graphic novel, Resistance by Carla Jablonski, and it's 1 and 3 of a series. So I'd highly suggest get all 3 of them because they're quick reads, but it's a really great story. And then finally, Lovely War by Julie Berry. Thank you so much for listening.